Oh my goodness, I am live back on my YouTube channel. This is so exciting. Hello everyone. My name is Frank and it's been a while since I've been on my YouTube channel. Actually, May 2016 was the last time that I uploaded an actual video to my channel. So it's been almost 2 years, which is crazy. And so much has been happening in my life, lots of great things, and I wanted to just check in with my channel, my 3,000 subscribers. I care about you all, and I haven't forgotten about you all as well. And I wanted to just give some life updates and share a little bit about what has been happening in my world since the last time I was seen on this channel. So this is my first YouTube live, and I really love doing live videos like this. So hopefully I'll be doing more of these. Looks like there is a chat box here, and that's great. So if you tune in at any point in this, go ahead and say hello, and I'd love to give you a shout out. Uh, Many of you probably remember me from doing Life in China and Make Lots of Friends. And many of you who have been following me for a while know about the highs and the lows of life in China. It's really been an honor to receive so many messages from many of you all, the subscribers, with questions, with comments, with concerns regarding teaching abroad. So I'm really happy to say that with tons of gratitude to my time in China, that chapter is totally put to rest. And when I left China, that's kind of where I stopped making YouTube videos because all these other things started opening up for me. And you may have had a time in your life where things are just kind of spiraling, sometimes in a good way, and it's hard to sometimes pause and just check in and make sense of everything that's happening. And that's kind of what these couple of years have been like. And now I'm in a place where I feel like there's been some grounding in my life. I have clarity on one is I now live in Seattle, Washington. And it's actually been a year that I've lived here. It is such a great city. And if you've never been to the Pacific Northwest, you gotta come check it out, especially in the spring and summer seasons. It's just such a wonderful, wonderful place to be with great energy, good food, lots of amazing people. And it's so close to just the mountains, the water. There's a lot of nature that you can just easily get yourself tied up into. And I love that. So let me just backtrack a little bit and give you the whole life update on what has happened since I left China. So I thought in this video I'd go over why I left China and what I did after China and what's coming up for me in the future. And most importantly, how you can be a part of that. That's really what I'm excited to share the most, is how you all, my subscribers who I adore so much, can be a part of all these great things that are happening. So I was at a point with China after 2 years where I felt like leadership development trainings, I was doing presentations and working one-on-one with people living in China, mostly expats, who want to raise their energy levels, have more clarity on their direction in life, and show up with more purpose. So I coached them and I did a lot of trainings on the side as I was teaching, and both kind of were equally split at one point where in how I was spending my time in China. And that was just so much fun. So as that started to grow and as I started to really have a coaching business that was starting out in China, I was actually invited to become a trainer for the world-class coaching institute that certified me to be a professional coach. So that just started this whole new roller coaster for me, and I ended up flying back to America, where I began this journey and adventure of becoming a trainer of coaches in a very comprehensive coaching program. So I ended up becoming a trainer, and I coached thousands, at least 1,000 really highly successful coaches all over the United States. I was flying around to all these different cities. At the same time, I was living in Vancouver, Canada at the time, which is a little bit north of Seattle. And so many things were opening up for me. And it was just awesome to see just the difference I was making. I was able to have a lot of successful people that I would train. One of which was a 3-time Emmy Award winner. He was one of my students. So I was humbled and honored to be supporting coaches who were getting started, learning coaching skills, being able to teach them how to start their journey in careers as certified coaches. Not this February, but the February before, I ended up, my last partner and I ended up ending our relationship. So I was in a 3.5-year relationship, and that ended up completing its cycle with a ton of love and respect and gratitude for who that person is, and also for myself in being able to realize that I wanted to end that relationship. So that was another big change. And then with that, I was open to where am I going to move next? And I landed on Seattle, Washington, found the most beautiful home here in Capitol Hill, which is just a very vibrant, young part of the city with just so much culture and tons of fun things happening. So I moved to Seattle, Washington, and at that point, I was kind of wanting something bigger from the universe. I felt like there was going to be a bigger calling or direction that my life was going to head into. I just wasn't sure what that would be. And I was new to the city. So here I was doing leadership trainings and coaching and needing to find a new community of people to connect with. So I started just saying yes to any kind of race, and we drink mimosas and we just kind of chill with each other. And I was so excited about that. So I said yes. He said, all right, well, make sure you bring either some orange juice and champagne for mimosa, or you can also bring just some kind of food if you'd like as well. So you're not going to believe how this all ended up. So I go to this brunch at around 10 or 11 a.m. and I brought a plate of deviled eggs. And my friend greets me at the front door, and I go to the kitchen area and I see that there's actually no one else had brought food, but there were about 20 bottles of champagne and orange juice. So I was, having fun meeting everyone who was there. We watched the show, and then after the show ended, my friend had said, we're gonna go to an after party now, and you're welcome to come. You should come join us. And I said, what do you mean? What kind of after party are you gonna have? I was kind of confused. I thought this was just the only event, and by now it might have been around noon. And he said, yeah, we're gonna go to an after party. So I was like, what kind of after party is this? Are we going somewhere else? Are we going to a restaurant? And he says, we're going to go have an orgy. And I was shocked. I said, oh, okay, I didn't realize that. And it just kind of felt like a wake up. I was not anticipating that kind of invitation. And I ended up not going to the orgy, but leaving that event it brought up a lot for me, and it brought up a lot of judgment. And I had judgment towards the people at the party, judging them as kind of being like reckless. And then I paused that judgment, and I looked inward, and I realized maybe I was judging myself too on being prude and not being open to having this kind of experience. Like, why shouldn't I just be open to going to an orgy? And then this was really where I got this kind of spiritual discovery in the face of an orgy. I realized, what if I just drop judgment altogether and just see what's true for me and what I need and what I'm looking to create in my relationships with people. And it got me thinking that just in the LGBTQ community, it's sometimes hard to find places to connect with people when you can feel like in order to connect, it needs to be through sex. Or in order to open up about your feelings, you need to be on drugs. And in order to really just meet people, it needs to be through a social app or through a dating app. And I just I had so much gratitude for getting invited to this orgy. And I just felt, you know what, I don't need to judge anyone for what kind of choices they make, whether it be in group sex or not. But what I realize is true for me and what I see in the LGBTQ community is there is a huge disconnect in how people can really have meaningful conversation and how they can really engage with each other and how they can feel like they can show up fully as they are and be inspired to be all that they are capable of being. And in response to this, in response to noticing this disconnect, this feeling of loneliness that so many people have in our community, and also the isolation for people who just don't feel like they fit into that traditional bar or club scene, I decided to start a community for spiritually minded LGBTQ people. And I named that community. It's been about 7 months since we started Namaste. And just long story short, I started putting together these events, bringing together mindful, compassionate people in the LGBTQ community wanting to have deeper, more authentic connections, not just for relationships, but for feeling inspired and knowing that there's a tribe of people there to support you, to acknowledge you, to see you as you fully are, and not feel like you have to wear a mask in order to fit in, or have to show up in a way that's not in alignment to your truth in order to just feel acknowledged. So we have since then exploded as a community, and we have thousands of members who have joined the Namaste community through our meetup group, through our Facebook group, and we've done events now in Seattle, we've done events in New York City, Oakland, and where's the other one? Chicago, New York, Seattle, and Oakland, with more cities on the rise. And just as the founder of this community, I'm just so privileged and humbled to now really feel that I found the calling I was asking for from the universe when I had moved to Seattle. And so in case you're wondering what this channel is going to be like and what you're going to hear about, it's going to be about celebrating and sharing a little bit of the behind the scenes of what's been happening with Namaste. And if you are a mindful, compassionate LGBTQ plus person who really feels like you don't fit into the bar and club scene, and you'd like to find more deeper connection to people in your community, I welcome you to join Namaste. You can find us on Facebook. We have a private Facebook group with thousands of other awesome, really engaged people from around the world. If you just search Namaste on Facebook, you can find us there. And on Meetup as well, we're posting a lot about our events. So you might be wondering, well, what are these events that you're having? So we started off doing some small events like group meditations and just kind of kickoff events to bring people together. But what I'm really excited to share is we are having the Namaste Summit, which is a 3-day event happening this April 20th to 22nd in Seattle, Washington, where we are bringing together our purpose-driven LGBTQ leaders from around the world who are going to come together for this inspiring, fun, transformative weekend. And this is open to anyone from all over. So I encourage you, even if you don't live in Seattle, to check out the summit. If you go to namaste.com and click summit, you'll be able to read a ton more about what's going to happen in the weekend. We're going to have all these incredible speakers come to present, one of which is an award-winning Hollywood actress, Jasmine Creighton. She's actually a trans activist as well, very well known. We have successful entrepreneurs who are going to join us, best-selling author. I'm going to be presenting as well, and it's going to be just, I think, a very special weekend that I just can't wait for it to happen. It's about 25 days away, with April 20th just rolling around the corner. And we still have a few seats left before we sell out. We've already sold tickets to people all the way from New York who are flying in for this adventure. And I would be delighted if you would like to join us at the Namaste Summit. Our intention for the weekend is that people leave after the 3 days feeling like they're not only inspired to open up their life to bigger possibilities, but that they found these new lifelong connections with other people who are purpose-driven and mindful. We had someone attend one of our recent events here in Seattle. She's a 72-year-old woman, lesbian, and she showed up just feeling kind of shy and quiet. And then at the end of the event, she ended up sharing that she just came out of the closet. And she was so afraid after coming out of the closet that she wouldn't find her LGBTQ community to support her and really see her as she is, because she didn't fit into the traditional or stereotypical scene. And after our Namaste event that she attended, she felt more inspired and energized than ever before. And she's been someone who's just showed up at a lot of our events afterwards, and she's coming to the summit. And stories like that inspire me, because I know how hard it could be to just spend years and years and years just trying and yearning for people to connect with the authentic you and have that deeper connection where you could have a lot of fun, but also feel like you can have meaningful discussion with people. So Namaste, it exists, it's happening, it's here. And I would love, if you feel inspired and if you feel that this is something that you've been desiring in your life, this deeper connection, this inspiring community, I wholly invite you to be a part of our community. Again, Namaste. Go to namaste.com. I'm gonna hop off now and head to the gym. But it's so good to be back on this channel and just to share a bit about what's been happening. I like doing this live video format, so give it a thumbs up if you want to see more of these videos, and if there's certain topics or questions you have. I'm pretty much an open book at this point. And I love just sharing a bit of my life on YouTube. So thank you all for tuning in today, and I will see you soon. Hope to see you this April at the Namaste Summit. Go to namaste.com to find out more and grab a ticket. Have a lovely day. Hope you are up to amazing things in 2018. And on that note, I'll see you in the next video. Namaste.